You know, when you talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning last year, you can't really talk about them either in the regular season or in the playoffs without Andrei Vasilevsky's name coming up, because he missed the first couple of months. And when a player, as we know in Toronto very well, misses the first couple of months, kind of sucks for them. Hard to catch up. And yet, the Tampa Bay Lightning held down the fort while he was gone. And when he came back, looked pretty good. They did lose pretty quickly to the Florida Panthers.
Yep.
But it's hard to imagine that repeats itself, especially with some new blood in Jake Gensel being injected into this lineup. So let's start with that. Let's start with Jake Gensel is Tampa Bay and Steven Stamkos is no longer.
So the Lightning, I think, maybe more than any other team in the league, have the trickiest locker room situation. Like, think of all the variables. And I'm not saying it's a bad locker room. I'm just saying how unbelievably different it is. Steven Stamkos, he's been your captain for how long? He's not there. Mikhail Sergachev, that's a big personality.
Big personality.
Big personality, big player. $9 million defenseman. He's not there. Victor Hedman is now your captain. You have Jake Gensel stepping in as the, hey, guys, new guy.
On an 8-year contract.
On an 8-year contract.
That you wouldn't give Stamkos.
So even though he's the new guy, hey, guy, get to know him because he's going to be here for 8 years. And Ryan McDonagh being back. You know, that's a weird one. That's a very...
At full price, by the way.
Yeah. He was gone for like, what, a couple years?
Yeah.
Maybe even just one. I
Yeah.
can't remember. Not very long. But long enough that things are not nearly the same as what they were when you left. And now here he is. He's back. How do they navigate that? How do they manage that? How has that changed life for the Tampa Bay Lightning? I think that part's going to be tricky. What I think the biggest X factor is, like, outside of like, oh, are these guys going to be comfortable around each other making jokes? Is Andrei Vasilevsky now healthy off of back surgery, almost a year removed from it? Is he going to come back and remind everybody he's the best goaltender in the world?
I'm sure, because he's a very intense man, that he wants to.
We forgot. Like, people take the Tampa Bay Lightning for granted because they've been so good for so long. To the point where, like, that should have been a way bigger story than it was. That's the best goalie on earth. On earth.
And he had an .890 save percentage.
And he was
Sorry,
not...
he did not. No, he did not. Jonas Johansson did.
Oh, okay. So I was about to say Andy wasn't good. I mean, he wasn't to his standard.
No, he was not. I'm pulling up fast.
But because he's been so good for so long...
You want wasn't to his standards? Andrei Vasilevsky's save percentage last year was the lowest of his career. 900. Least amount of wins since 16-17. So I think
tracks.
By default, like where I'm leaning with the Tampa Bay Lightning, bounce back season for Andrei Vasilevsky, wins go up. Like, I feel like just by default, they should be a little better because they have Vasi playing up to not his worst save percentage of his career.
Yes.
And I'm Andrei Vasilevsky. Igor Shesterkin is the best goalie in the NHL? Pardon?
You think motivation? Yeah.
Sergei Bobrovsky just won a Stanley Cup, and everyone's talking about Jeremy Swayman wants to make the same amount of money as me? He might be the biggest bounce back player in the entire league.
Yep.
This year.
I think it's fair. By the way, he still managed to play 52 games last year.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
nuts.
Nuts.
You know what,
Absolutely crazy.
boys? I'm fresh. Like, after he came back, I'd like to know what the splits were.
I would next to nothing, I think.
Next to nothing.
Jesse, what sticks out to you about the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Well, the Vasi stuff is I think 1A and 1B, and just you're getting one of the best starting goaltenders for a full season, healthy, motivated, bounce back season. So I think that's really important. Also, if you look at the numbers for the Tampa Bay Lightning from March 1st onwards, they had the best record in the Atlantic Division.
Who's shocked?
They were on a heater to end last season. They were 13-6-2.
Wow.
So it's not like they had a bad season rolling into the playoffs. They were struggling or anything like that. They didn't back their way into that matchup with Florida. So there's a lot of great pieces here. It's just about you took away from the lineup, obviously.
They did that entirely without Mikhail Sergachev, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that crazy streak. They're nuts.
So you take away from the lineup with you're losing Sergachev, you're losing Stamkos, but you bring in McDonagh and you bring in Gensel, and it feels like they added like a new character to the sitcom. It's like when Andy joined The Office.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, so we have this familiar cast here, but we're throwing in Jake Gensel now, and things might get better and they might improve because we've added a different dynamic to this team that it probably got a little stale, you know, in the locker room over these years where you're just running it back with the same core. So I think it's a plus here, whether you think he's the same type of player as Stamkos or not. I think that's besides the point because you're just getting fresh blood and a new perspective on things and a new member of the top line that I think it's going to work out for them.
Gensel matches the Lightning so well because, like, yeah, he's good in the regular season, but he's a killer in the playoffs. And that's what they are.
One guy that I don't think enough people are paying attention to that fits this lineup perfectly, that I hate that they got him, is Cam Atkinson. Cam Atkinson is a year removed from 50 points with the Philadelphia Flyers. This is a guy that eats teams alive, including my own, in the playoffs. He's a total bastard to play against.
That's a John Cooper special. He's got to manage that perfectly.
He will be third line role. I think his 50-point seasons might be behind him. Doesn't really matter.
Power play.
What's Cam Atkinson bring? Feisty. There's some speed.
Crazy shot.
I love that pickup. And when you look at, you know, what they have on the fourth line, I mean, it's pretty, like, somehow Luke Glendening is still playing. And good for him. But, like, that is a undrafted journeyman, never more than about 15 points a year, still going to play.
So here, think about this. The Lightning power play.
Yeah.
So good for so long. And it's crazy because you know what to expect out of them every year.
Yeah.
Victor Hedman's a monster at the point. You have Kucherov on the right side, setting up the Kucherov. You have Braden Point in the bumper. You have someone mucking it up in front.
Hagel, probably.
Maybe. And you have Stamkos on the right side. There's an opening for a right-handed shot. That'd be a crazy career renaissance if they put Cam Atkinson in that position.
Yep.
Realistically, it's not going to be him, but it'd be fascinating to see if they try it.
Yeah, no question. No question. So the actual, the way that the lineups look right now is Cam Atkinson's probably on the second power play unit. I'm interested to see who runs point on the second power play unit. Aha, you see?
Hey,
right now, Darren Radish is the guy that they've got penciled in, but we'll see.
You look at the left side of the D where it's Hedman, McDonough, Radish. It's not what it used to be. You know, that used to be the part you feared of the Lightning was the left side of the D.
McDonough.
It's still Hedman, McDonough. It's older McDonough, but it's still Hedman. And then the right side, Moser, Chernak, and Perbix. You know, it's nothing to write home about, but it's solid.
That is what people don't realize about Tampa because Sergachev's gone. That's actually the best their right side has looked in years.
Because they never had to have anything on the right side.
No, they've had Chernak and like mercenaries, and now like people are going to realize how good Moser is because he was in Arizona, out of sight, out of mind. To have a 1-2 punch on the right of Cernak Moser is one of the best right sides they've had since.
Shen was on the right. Right when he was there,
yeah, but it was like career revival Luke Shen. Yeah, it wasn't the Luke Shen that we think of today, and like Bogosian and like go look at the 2020 bubble Lightning decor. You can't believe they won with what they won with. Like this the right side
on the right side. You mean?
Yeah, sorry, on the right side. No, the left side was like the best left side in a generation, but the right side might be better than either team that won the cup. It's crazy.
So, gentlemen, the MGM odds, the BetMGM odds, 98.5. The Lightning had 98 points last year, and that's without Vasilevsky for 2 months. He did come back and play his regular amount of games, but Jonas Johansson is still there, and we'll see what he turns into. But right now, he is their backup and an .890 save percentage. Steve, what do you want to do? You want to start?
I'd be interested to see if they claim someone off waivers because I think there's going to be a ton of goalies there. I'm going to say over.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have they're going to have a very interesting year, but I think it's going to exceed expectations. I have them third in the Atlantic.
Wow.
Yes.
Jesse Blake.
I'll take over. I think this is still a division where 4 teams rule the whole division. It's still Florida, Tampa, Boston, Toronto. But I'm going to say they finish again 4th in the division, but I'll take the over. Tight 4th.
Rumors of the Lightning's death have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah. I have them. I can't quite. So I have them over for sure. I can't quite bring myself to put them in second. There's another team I'm playing with for fourth and third.
Okay, so you have the Leafs first?
Yeah.
I know who your second is.
So
Ottawa.
Clearly Ottawa.
Nailed it.
Orgasmic Ottawa. I'm putting the Tampa Bay Lightning in third place. I think this is a very, very, very good team. And I hope the Leafs win the division because I don't want them to play them in the first round. So that
Wild card it is.
isn't that, yeah, right? So that's what I'm saying. Tampa Bay Lightning absolutely hammer the over, third place.